What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I made my way down to Benson, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. We're going to take a look at the 2020 Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack Widebody. Huge shout out to them for providing this car for me today. Definitely check out their website, that will be in the description below. This model is finished off in Tour Red. It has an MSRP just over $55,000. Also, don't forget, we are doing a GoPro giveaway for the month of February. More details will be at the end of this video. Under the hood, this is powered by a 6.4 liter 392 SRT Hemi V8. This is paired to the 8-speed automatic with steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. This engine will produce 485 horsepower at 6,100 RPM and 475 pound-feet of torque at 4,100 RPM. All this power is sent to the rear wheels. It weighs around 4,300 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just over 4 seconds with a top speed of 182 miles an hour. And with a fuel capacity of 18.5 gallons, you can expect to see 18 miles per gallon in the city and 25 out on the highway. This has an overall wheelbase of 116.2 inches. The length is 197.9. Its width is 79.2, and it has a height of 57.5 inches. Starting up front, we're going to take a look at the LED headlights. You'll also notice that the inner housing here has actually been cut out. This is to provide even more cooling to the engine. From a distance, you really wouldn't be able to tell that they are not headlights and they're actually functional air inlets. So that's pretty cool how it's integrated in together there. Moving on to the grille here, it's very narrow and wide, but it gives it a really nice look. There's plenty of cutouts to provide even more cooling to the engine, along with the grille in the lower section of the bumper. It has the same pattern, obviously, just giving it a really nice look. At the very bottom, we have a massive front splitter. It wraps all the way around the front bumper, giving it a really clean look. And then as we make our way back to the center here, you'll notice that the grills are actually sunken into the front end. So we have this middle portion here separating both of them. Just gives it more an aggressive look. We have an overhang on the top section. And then as we make our way to the hood, there are functional vents all around. We have more airflow on the middle one, and then on the outside there are heat extraction vents. There's very nice contoured lines running around the hood as well, giving it a really nice look. Moving on to the side now, we'll start off with these wheels. They have a 5 double spoke design to them. Really nice finish to them as well. They measure 20 by 11 inches in all 4 corners. We have Brembo brakes on this vehicle with 6 pistons up front. These wheels are wrapped in Pirelli P0 tires as well. And above that, you can see the major difference with the wide body is the large fender flares. This adds about 3.5 inches to the overall width compared to a Challenger without the wide body. Gives it a very aggressive design. You can also see how it's nicely integrated into the front splitter. It has a really nice design kind of tying everything together. Right behind that, we have the badge on the quarter panel, and then this does have body colored side mirrors. It features a sunroof up top with black window trim around it. You'll also notice a really clean body line running underneath the door handle, kind of tying the front and the rear together here. There's also another body line right at the back of the trunk here with the fuel cap right in the center. And finishing up in the rear with the trunk mounted spoiler. It has a really nice matte black finish to it and curves nicely over the bodywork on each side, making it look really nice. Below that, we have even more black trim with the LED taillights. The backup camera is nicely integrated into the trunk-mounted spoiler as well. You can see the parking sensors are mounted in the lower diffuser, along with the dual exhaust. That's going to finish it up for the exterior walk around on the RT Scat Pack Widebody. Definitely an awesome car. I love the aggressive appearance to it with the fender flares and with the color of the vehicle and the wheels. It just has a really clean look. Before we go ahead and jump on the inside, I'm just going to go ahead and lock the vehicle and then double tap this button underneath it. This does have remote start, which is very cool to see. Very easy to use as well. And then if you double tap this again, it will automatically shut it off. But with the vehicle locked, we'll go ahead and walk up to the vehicle. I'm just going to push this button right on the back side and it will automatically unlock. Starting off on the door panel, you'll see the entire upper section is finished off in leather with silver stitching. It runs along the armrest and on the back side. Just in front of the grab handle is the window controls along with the side mirror adjustments and lock and unlock. Just below that we have the release handle and then a storage spot for a drink. In the back section there's also a little bit more storage space, and then this does feature a 10-speaker Alpine sound system. Hopping into the seats now, these have a very aggressive design to them. I love the logo that's embroidered right in the center. The headrests are finished off in leather along with the side bolstering, and then the inserts have a really nice suede material to them as well. Definitely a very comfortable seat. You can get this in the exact spot you're looking for, and they just hug you so well around the sides and down by your thighs here. But now moving on to the steering wheel, it's finished off in solid leather on the tops and the bottom, has a nice flat bottom design to it, and then the sides have perforated leather, really good grip for a 10 and 2 position. This has the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters with radio controls mounted just underneath them. Moving on to the rest of the controls, over on the right side is all of the cruise control settings. On the left side you have your Bluetooth voice command, and then all of those will control the center screen. So you can look at your speedometer, you have a lot of other vital information that you can look at, like temperature, TPMS, and other information like that. We can scroll down to performance, so you can monitor 0 to 60, 8th mile, G-forces, your brake distance, and other information. You can scroll down to your fuel economy, you have your trip information, along with your audio, any messages. You have your screen set up that you can go into. For example, on the upper right, it shows the outside temperature. You can change that and have the compass if you don't want it in the upper left, as you can see. You can look at any diagnostics with the vehicle, and then you have your speed warning. The tach is off and to the left side with the speedometer on the right. Moving over to the left side of the steering wheel is the trunk release, along with some dimmer switches. You have the control for the headlights. There's one air vent with some more stitching running around the entire gauge cluster. You can also see this nice trim piece as well. And then as we make our way to the center, you'll see the 8-inch screen. It is touchscreen, of course, so you can go to your media, you can go to your climate. This does have dual zone climate, so you can just swipe to adjust the temperature. You have where you'd like the air to go, and some other buttons running across the top with the fan speed down at the bottom. We can go into some other controls for the heated and ventilated seats, along with the heated steering wheel. You can go into the app, so you can look at everything from your SRT mode to your heated and ventilated seats. You have your Wi-Fi. But just going into the SRT mode, we can adjust all of the different driving modes that are available in this vehicle. So just by clicking on one, we can change the transmission, the paddle shifters, your traction, suspension, and steering. So if you don't want one as aggressive as the other, it's very easy to go through and change that. You have some other race options that you can go into, like line lock, so you can do a burnout if you're going to be drag racing this vehicle. You have launch control, you can activate that at whatever RPM you would like, and then you can change the shift light, so you can easily monitor that. There's also a valet mode as well, which is definitely needed in a vehicle like this. There's also an eco mode as well, so you can set it to that if you want to save a little bit more on MPG. You can go over to the navigation and pull that up, so we can see that in full screen. You have your phone and then settings off to the far right. What I really like about this system too is if there's something that you want to use a lot, so let's say the SRT mode, you can drag and drop this down to the bottom, so that is now on your presets at the bottom. Makes it very easy to go into. And then on each side of that screen, you can see there's an air vent with more of the trim piece surrounding it. As we make our way down, you'll see the engine start stop button, and then a few more controls for that center screen. You can shut it completely off if you'd like to do so. You have your traction control off, you can adjust the parking sensors, you have launch control, you can go into your drive modes, you have power and volume for the radio, along with tuning on the far right. And then just underneath that is all the climate control settings. So if you don't want to use it on the screen, you have physical buttons here, you have the fan speed right in the center, along with the temperature, and you'll see that being adjusted on the screen. Just behind that, we have the leather wrap shifter. Just pulling on the release button, I'll go ahead and put it into reverse. You'll see the backup camera light up with the guidelines, and we can go all the way down into manual mode to be able to use the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Just to the right of that, there's a little cubby storage spot, along with 2 cup holders behind that, and more of that trim tying it in nicely with the trim around the screen. Looking at the center armrest now, it's wrapped in leather with more stitching. You'll notice there's 2 cutouts on this side as well, so that way you can put cables through if you're charging a phone or something like that. There's 2 USB ports and a 12 volt. You can see there's a good amount of storage space for anything that you need to place there. And then as we make our way to the glove box, it has a split design to it, so you can throw anything on the top or bottom. Makes it a little bit more versatile. We'll go ahead and take another look at these seats. I love the bolstering to them. They are super aggressive. And then looking up top, this does have a sunroof. You have the sunglass holder on the back side here, and then your dome lights as well. Since this is a 5-seater vehicle, let's go ahead and take a look at the back seats. All you have to do is pull on this latch here, and the backrest of the seat will automatically go forward, and then we can hop into the back. So at 5'10", my head is just up against the headliner, and then my knees are actually not touching the seat, so I have a good amount of room. My shoes are easily able to go under the seat. So you could put 3 people back here if you needed to. They are functional for full-size adults. You get an armrest on one side. If you have nobody in the center seat, this is also another armrest, along with 2 cup holders, and you do have a good amount of room back here. I like the side glass there. Gives you a lot of light for the backseat passengers, and you can easily see out of the back back glass. So definitely a lot of room. There's 2 air vents in the center. They also have a 60-40 split to them as well. So just by pulling on this latch here, you can easily fold them down, getting a little bit more access into the trunk space there. And last up, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the trunk storage space. There's 3 ways to do this. I'm just gonna push the nicely hidden button up underneath the camera. This reveals about 12 cubic feet of storage space. So you definitely have plenty of room. And as you saw with the back seats down, just from a different angle, you can easily slide anything through the back that you'd like to. Over on the left side, it even cuts out a little bit. Same on the right side, so you can put anything sideways as well. All right, so getting the RT Scat Pack Widebody out on the road now, the first thing that I've noticed is the bulge in the hood. It looks a lot more aggressive from the driver's seat than it does from head on. I can see one of the heat extraction vents as well, so I can almost see the entire hood. It just gives it a really nice look. But moving on to visibility now from the driver's seat here, you can easily see out of the windshield, obviously. The roof line is not very low, so I can easily see the top of the glass here. And then looking over my left and right shoulder, you really don't have any blind spots. From the inside, I can easily see all around. I really like how these side mirrors, I just noticed, are mounted a little bit farther back on the door. So that easily makes you able to see, even on that passenger side, you can see in front of the side mirror. But I already went ahead and put it into the manual mode, so we can use the paddle shifters here. I'm keeping suspension and steering in sport, and then transmission and traction control are in street. Wow. Not even half throttle, and it moves. It sounds really good at the same time. I love the sound of this vehicle. It just has a nice deep aggressive tone to it. And the handling so far coming around these turns, it feels very planted. I'm not doing anything too crazy as far as really twisty roads, but it's definitely carrying its weight well. I really like how it's driving so far. And the shifts are very smooth and responsive. As soon as I tap on that paddle, it automatically goes to the next gear. Same on the downshifts as well. It's a very fun car to drive. I really like it. Moving on to everything on the inside now, I really like how the layout is. There's not a whole lot of buttons on the steering wheel, so it makes it easy to go through everything there. And then I like having the AC buttons and all of the, basically the screen buttons. You can easily just tap on what you'd like to, and everything is laid out well. You have launch control, your driving modes. Pretty much all the fun buttons are down in the middle there, so that's pretty cool to see. And then everything on the screen is very easy to use. The layout is awesome because you can put anything that you want down on the lower screen, as I mentioned earlier, and I think that's a really cool feature. So you can use all of those fun driving modes and have them on the bottom there. I just can't get over the sound of this. It is a very quick car. You don't need anything more than this. I like the fact too that while this is a very powerful vehicle, you could easily take this out on back mountain roads. You can put 5 people in here and still have a good time. There's plenty of space in the back for 3 people, as I showed earlier. So that's pretty awesome. You have all this room. You can even fold the seats down and put anything through that you want. So you really have a pretty versatile vehicle. And it being rear wheel drive, you can easily have some fun with a car full of people. So that's kind of cool to be able to do that. Not a lot of 2-door vehicles have functional back seats. These seats are so comfortable. I really like them. They hug you well. Really aggressive side bolsters to them, so I'm not going to be sliding around on any of these turns, which I like. Definitely really comfortable. I could see this being a good daily driver. It has pretty much all that you need, and for a factory vehicle, you could drive this to work and then drive this to the drag strip and do some launches, which is pretty awesome that everything is factory. I'm going to go ahead and put it into automatic mode, and we're just going to drive like a normal vehicle. It's actually pretty quiet on the inside. I have no complaints with that. On a bumpy road like I'm on right now, it's absorbing all of the bumps well. I don't have any complaints with that either. It's a pretty smooth ride. And like I mentioned, if you're just going normal, I'm not doing any acceleration right now, it's not all that loud on the inside. You can't hear any road noise or wind noise. It's really nice if you're driving this every single day. But then if you want to have some fun, pop it over into manual mode and you can get on it a little bit more. So overall, I really like it. All the materials on the inside are nice as well. You have leather covering pretty much everything and a very nice material on the seats. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive in the 2020 Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack Widebody. Once again, huge shout out to Benson, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this vehicle for me today. Definitely check out their website. That will be in the description below. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. Also, don't forget, we are doing a GoPro giveaway for the month of February. All you have to do is be a subscriber to the channel and comment on videos. At the end of February, we're gonna pick the video with the most comments and pick a random winner from that video. So that's all you have to do. Subscribe and comment, and you can win a GoPro. And I'll see you guys in the next video.